Haciendo party, fumando hierba dentro de un Ferrari, hablando bien de la canción en mi semilla.
What's up, you guys? This is Gordo the Barber, co-owner of Vision's Barbershop. We are located in Salt Lake City, Utah, so make sure to stop by and say what's up. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in for my first tutorial video. I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a man bun with a low drop fade tune-in. First off, we're going to go ahead and start with a 3.5 detachable blade. We're going to go ahead and take off all the bulk on the side of the head. Make sure you don't press too hard and make sure you're not going too high to cut the hair on top. We're going to use the same 3.5 to get into the lineup in the corner of the head. We're going to be following the same process to the back of the head and to the left side of the head. Make sure you use a comb or anything to get the longer hair away from the clipper. Make sure you don't cut it. At this point in time, we're going to go ahead and use the Slimline Pro Li Zero Gapped. We're going to go ahead and do the low drop fade. This is going to be the zero guideline. It all depends how low you want to go on the back. Necessarily, I like doing a very low drop fade just to make sure you can actually tell what it is when the client is out of the check. We're going to go ahead and curve it again. I go over it a few times just to make sure all my hair is even and actually looks to my standards. Alright guys, at this point in time I did go ahead and switch to my Andes Masters. I am going to use the lever close. Make sure you do not get too close to the edge up since we are trying to keep it close. Make sure you do hold the client's ear down so the clipper does not bite his ear at any time. I do go over a little bit, clean up my guidelines just to make sure I don't get lost. Okay, now we are using my Andes blackouts, T-edgers, and that's what I'm going to use to go ahead and take out my guideline. Make sure you're not pressing too hard, make sure you're not pressing too tight into the client's scalp. You do not want to irritate it. Okay, now we're going to move on to the back and it's going to be the same thing. Going ahead and take out that line, make sure we're not going up, make sure you're using the C motion so you're not making another line. Making sure that the client's ear is held down. Alright guys, so now I have it closed and we're going to go ahead and go halfway open. We're going to make our second guideline. Once again, make sure you're not getting too close to the lineup. I usually do my guidelines within ½ an inch to an inch apart. We're going to follow right back. Make sure you stay consistent with the dropping of the fade. Your guidelines have to be consistent of dropping. Alright guys, so now we're going to go half notch down. And that's what we're going to use to take off our second guideline. Make sure you use the flick of the wrist so you're not making another guideline. Make sure you use your corners wisely. I don't always use my corners in every single haircut, but it depends on the hair. As you can see, I go over a few times at the same spots just to make sure the line is not there anymore, so I don't have to do as much work in the end of the haircut on detail. Okay, we're going to be doing the same process through the back and to the left side of the head. I'm just going back and getting some few spots that I thought that I need to go ahead and touch up. Okay guys, now I'm gonna use my 0 guard double magnetic and this purple guard. That's gonna be my next guideline. So I go up about ½ an inch, closed. Make sure you stay consistent on dropping the fade down. We're gonna do the same thing in the back. At this point in time, I did go ahead and take off my double magnetic guard from Andis. I did open the lever halfway, so we can go ahead and take out the 3rd guard line. Make sure you're not pressing too hard. Make sure you're letting the clipper do the work. As you can see, it's a little dark in the nape area, so we got to go ahead and work on that. You're gonna see me playing back and forth with a lever. At this point in time, I went ahead and switched to my number 1 guard with the lever closed. We are going about ½ an inch, and we're gonna make our 4th guideline. Make sure you go ahead and drop the fade once again to keep consistent. So I do go ahead and use a soft brush to go ahead and wipe all the hair off. Make sure you have a clean surface. At this point in time, we are going to switch to the 0 guard with the lever closed. Right there is where you see the guideline, and we're going to go ahead and take that off with the 0 guard. Make sure you keep using this C motion. I am using my corners, and I am using my clippers with the grain and against the grain just to make sure I'm getting the line out. Okay, well now we are working on the right side of the head. As you can see, I move my lever back and forth just to use the different length of the clipper. At this point in time, we went ahead and switch on to the number 2 guard. We're gonna go ahead and have the lever open, so that makes it 2.5. We're gonna go ahead and soften up the guideline. Now we're gonna go ahead and close the lever and soften up the guideline a little more. As you can see, the guideline is getting a little bit lighter. So at this point in time, we went ahead and switched to the number 1 guard, and we're gonna go ahead and open it. Now we're gonna keep doing the C motion and keep making sure the guideline is getting lighter. Just making sure I'm moving the long hairs out of the way so I'm not cutting any off. So at this point in time, I do have the lever closed just to get a little bit closer to the guideline. So I'm looking around the fade. I'm opening and closing the lever just to make sure I'm getting all the dark spots and light spots. I still see a little dark spot on the first guideline, so now I'm starting to do my detail work. I usually spend around 5 to 7 minutes after I'm done with the haircut just to focus on detail. I close and open my lever a lot to where it's necessary, so I am cutting the necessary hair. It's always good to go back and double check your work just to make sure your fade is coming to the way you want it. I believe at this point in time I am using the 0 guard with the lever closed. Just going back to my work. At this point in time, I am pulling the longer hair out of the way and brushing the hair down, prepping for the lineup. As you can tell, he doesn't have the most perfect lineup. It does grow a little bit in this corner. Right now we're going to be using my 0 gapped and his blackouts. So I do go back a little bit in his lineup, but you make sure you go little by little so you're not pushing it too far back. You always want to try to keep the lineup the most natural as possible. At this point in time, we are going to do the side of his edge up. I keep going back and forth, just making sure I can have the straightest lines. Okay, so now at this point in time, we are going to do the middle of his lineup and we're going to do the right side of his hair. Just make sure you keep brushing the hair. Make sure you keep brushing the lineup. Make sure you keep wiping it off. going ahead and checking the right side of the lineup, just making sure I'm staying the same both sides. I always go back and check my work, make sure there's no loose little hairs sticking out. Now we're going to be using the Andes shaver. Make sure you stay under the 0 guideline. Now we're going to be using Elegance Shave Gel. I'll go ahead and put just a little bit on my finger and make sure I put it all back and forth over the lineup. Okay, go ahead and stretch out the skin. Go ahead and make sure you put a brand new blade for every single client. Now we're just edging him up with the razor. Make sure you're not pushing too hard. Okay, now we're just doing the cleanup work around the neck area. And here's the finished product. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more haircuts and tutorial videos. See you guys next time.